Hi, in this video, we're going to solve the third problem in the chapter of recording transaction. So let's read out the question first. Mohit has the following transaction. Prepare accounting equation. So again, they're asking us to prepare an accounting equation based on the given transaction. Let's understand what is this transaction. So business started with the cash. So we have a cash in an asset. Purchased goods from Rohit. Okay. So goods in an asset. Sales goods on credit to Manish. So there is a word credit. So we are selling goods to Manish on credit basis. So Manish is the debitor to us. So this affects the asset section. Purchased furniture for the office use. So furniture is also an asset. So we have furniture in the asset section. Cash paid to Rohit in full settlement. So we are affecting the cash. Cash is received from the Manish because the Manish is bought the goods through credit basis. So rent paid, this is also affecting the cash asset. Cash withdrew from the personal use. So this is again the cash asset. So asset, cash, we have goods, debitor. So now let's analyze the transaction. In transaction A, business started with a cash worth of 1,75,000. Okay, let's enter 1,75,000. When the asset increases, so does the capital also. Right. Now let's do the total. Total is 1,75,000. Now let's analyze the transaction B. Purchased goods from Rohit. So this transaction does not mention the mode of payment. Okay. And following transaction, we can see transaction 5, cash paid to Rohit in the full settlement. Okay. Let's assume the second transaction is made through credit. In the liability section, we bought goods worth of 50,000. We owe 50,000 to Rohit because it's not yet paid. So now let's total this. 1,75,000, 50,000 worth of goods, 50,000 as a liability, and 1,75,000 is already there in the capital. Now let's total. Now 1,75,000 plus 50,000 comes around 2,25,000. 1,75,000 and 50 is pretty much the same, 1,25,000. Let's analyze the transaction C. Sales goods on credit to Manish. We are selling 75,000 worth of goods to Manish on credit basis. Let's decrease 75,000 worth of goods. Manish is a debitor. He has to pay us 20,000 because we are selling a goods on credit. So Manish is going to be giving us the money. Cash asset below, it's not affected. It's going to be the same. But this one, 50,000 minus 17,500 because we sold 17,500 worth of goods. So now this is going to decrease the goods asset to 32,500. Okay. So balance 20,000 is yet to be paid. Liability is not yet affected. Capital is still the same. Okay. Now let's calculate this, which comes around 2,25,000. Now here we have to do a simple calculation. 17,500 worth of goods have been sold, and we have been yet to receive 20,000. 20,000 minus 17,500. The balance is 2,500. 2,500 is the profit. 1,75,000 plus 2,500, which comes around 1,77,500. Let's calculate this liability and capital, which also comes around 2,27,500. Now let's analyze the transaction D. Purchased furniture for office use worth of 10,000. The furniture costing is 10,000. The business is purchasing the furniture for the office use. So this is affecting the cash account. We bought furniture costing 10,000 and we have to minus 10,000 in the cash asset. Now let's calculate these numbers. 1,65,000 in the cash asset. Goods is not affected. Furniture is 10,000. The debitor is yet to pay us 20,000 and the liability is not affected and the capital is 1,77,500. Now let's total this. 1,65,000 plus 35,000 plus 10,000 plus 20,000, which comes around 2,27,500. This is going to be the same, 2,27,500, because the liability and the capital is still the same. Now let's analyze the transaction E. Transaction E says cash paid to Rohit in full settlement. Okay, we have to connect the transaction E to the transaction B. And now in the transaction E, we are paying Rohit in a full settlement through cash worth of 48,500. Let's minus 48,500 in a cash. Right now we have to analyze this statement very carefully because the cash paid to Rohit in the full settlement, there is no pending. We can assume the full settlement is done, so the liability is fully completed. Okay, and we got a discount of 1,500. The full settlement has been paid. So now the balance 1,500 is the profit. So now 1,65,000 minus 48,500 comes around 1,16,500. 1,16,500. Goods section is not yet affected. Furniture section is also also not yet affected. The debitor is also not yet affected. Now the 50,000 is going to be minus because the full settlement has been done. There is no liability to the business. 1,77,500 plus 1,500 comes around 1,79,000. So this is going to be the total. When we calculate all the assets, it also comes around 1,79,000. Now let's analyze the transaction F. Cash received from Manish 20,000 because we sold goods on credit to Manish. We're expecting 20,000 from him. So now the Manish is paying as 20,000 in cash. So now let's record a transaction here. 20,000 is increasing in the cash asset. 20,000 it should be decreased in the debitor section because we received the cash. Now all other accounts are not yet affected. 1,16,500 plus 20,000 comes around 1,36,500. So we don't have anything to come in. So we don't have any debits. It's zero. So now the capital is going to be the same 1,79,500. Now let's do the total. 1,79,000 is the balance. Transaction G, rent paid 1,000 rupees. Now we paid rent through using cash. Our cash account is decreased to 1,000 rupees. So does our capital will also decreases to 1,000 rupees. So let's balance this. 1,35,500. All the other assets are remaining the same. The capital is going to be like less than 1,78,000. 1,75,000 plus 32,000 plus 1,000. This comes around 1,78,000. This is the capital that we have. Transaction H is cash withdrew for personal use worth of 3,000. Again, cash is reduced by 3,000 because Mohit is using the cash for his personal use 3,000. So does the capital will reduce to 3,000. So now let's balance this. 1,35,000 minus 3,000, which comes around 1,32,500. 1,32,500. The other two assets not yet changed. Now the balance in the capital is going to be 1,75,000 is the balance. Now let's total this. 1,35,500 plus 32,500 plus 10,000 comes around 1,75,000. Now this is going to be the capital also. Okay, so this is how we have to analyze a transaction by using the accounting equation principle. So I hope you understand this sum. Keep practicing your problems and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.